born, Palo Alto, Silicon Valley. By the hundreds, by the thousands. And hundreds and thousands of people are coming from the West to go to Rishikesh, to go to Vrindavan, to go to Ayodhya, to go to Mayapur, to go to Sri Rangam. They don't consider it a culture of the past. They consider it one universal spiritual culture which can answer the questions of life. So thank God, thank Krishna, we have our Bhagavad Gita. Now, of course, Bhagavad Gita is read by beginners, it's read by intermediates, and it's read by very advanced sadhus as well. It has a very important message to all of us. Beginning with, one of the themes of Bhagavad Gita is to first and foremost appreciate the value of this human form of life. In the Mundaka Upanishad, it describes scientifically, very precisely, that in this creation of Sri Krishna, there are 8,400,000 species of life. I believe our scientists today have discovered around 3,832 species of life on this planet. But Vedic literature describes the bigger picture, beyond what our eyes can see, beyond what our glass telescopes can see, beyond what our imagination can conjure up. 8,400,000 species of life spread throughout the creation. Not only on this planet, but other planets as well. If you are reading your scriptures, the Puranas, especially the Bhagavad Purana, you'll understand there's life on every planet. We don't need to research, we simply need to hear from Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu to understand. Higher authority, perfect spiritual authority, authority of God or his representative. There's life on every planet. Not life as we know it. We can't say, no, there's no life on other planets because we can't live there. There's many circumstances where you cannot live, where life is flourishing. For instance, in your beautiful ocean, your sea, your Arabian Sea, which is just here. Their fish live under the water very nicely. You can't live there, but they live there. Even they say there's viruses that can survive fire. You have to kill the bad bacteria by chemicals because fire alone will not kill them. So there's life everywhere. 8,400,000 species of life, out of which 400,000 are human beings. That includes the Devatas, the higher races, human beings, and some lower class men. We won't go into detail. So Krishna stresses the value of this life above all others. Although God, of course, loves all of his children. All species of life are dear to the Father. Just like you have children. Some of your children may be mentally handicapped, may be physically handicapped. Some of them may be star athletes, brilliant in school. But as a parent, you love them all. So it is with Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Therefore, he teaches in Vedic wisdom to be kind to all living entities. Vidya, vinaya, sampane, brahmani, gavi, hastuni, sunichaiva, sapakicha, pandita, samadarshanaha. A truly learned person sees with equal vision an intelligent Brahmin, an elephant, a cow, a dog, or an outcast, a dog eater. He sees them with equal vision. He doesn't see their temporary body, but he sees with knowledge to the occupier of the body, the soul within, and realizes in the eyes of God that soul is equal to the Lord. So therefore Krishna encourages that we show compassion and love to all living creatures. One way we can do that is by being vegetarian. I believe if the animals had a vote, of course they don't, but if the animals had a vote, they would vote that all human beings should be vegetarian. To see with knowledge Not just some sentiment. I like cats, dogs, I like cows. But why? Because present within the heart of every living entity is an Atma, a soul, who is equal to other Atmas. The only Atma that is superior is the Paramatma, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Soul, Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And this is the value of the human life, that we can understand these things with our buddhi. God has given a gift to every child of His, every creature. The birds can fly. Wouldn't you like to fly? If you want to fly, you have to work hard, buy an airline ticket and fly to London or fly to Singapore. Birds, they fly. Bears, they can sleep 6 months of the year. You get mainly 2 weeks vacation and a couple hours extra sleep. Bears, they, by the grace of God, a little touch for another of His creations, the butterflies, they're always beautiful. They don't take off their makeup in the evening and put it on in the morning. They're always beautiful. You can see like this. Every creature has something special. Variety is the spice of life. There's so much variety in the creation because there's an intelligent creator behind it. What did we get? We're standing in line. I can't fly. I can't live underwater. I sleep 6, 7 hours. But the Lord gave us the most important gift, buddhi, intelligence. We know Buddha, one of the 10 incarnations of Vishnu or Krishna, Dasha Avatar. Buddha. Buddha means the intelligent one or the enlightened one. So we have that buddhi. All of us have that buddhi. That's what distinguishes us from the animals. Is our buddhi, our intelligence. And we have done amazing things with our intelligence, especially in the last 200 or 300 years. Science, technology, advanced medicine, space travel, computer science, you name it. Great. But according to the Gita, according to the rishis, according to the sadhus, according to the saints of our great Vedic tradition, that intelligence has been given to us for a higher purpose. Swami, what could be higher than improving the quality of our life? The rishis say the highest purpose of that intelligence, the best way to use that buddhi, is to go within and discover your deeper spiritual nature. Because we have a deeper spiritual nature. There's a spiritual force within. There's a spiritual energy within. There's a Atma. There's a soul. And that is the real you. This, of course, is the beginning, the ABCs of Vedic knowledge, of the Bhagavad Gita. That we are not the body, but we are the Atma, the soul within. In one sense, we all know this. Imperceptibly, we talk about our bodies because, well, this is my hand, this is my arm, this is my head, this is my tummy, these are my legs. We don't say, I hand, I arm, I head, I body. No, it's mine. Think for a minute. What are we saying? Let's use some nyaya, some logic. I'm not saying I body, I'm saying my body. Who's the me? This is the first question of life. In Vedic culture, as soon as the boy developed a little intelligence and the girl at home developed a little intelligence, they were instructed in the science of self-realization. First came the spiritual knowledge, then came the material knowledge. Because the first question, we have to establish, first and foremost, who I am. Because unless you know who you are, you don't know how to conduct your life in such a way as to find the happiness that we're all searching for, to find the peace we're hankering for, to satisfy ourselves. If we misidentify and think that I'm the body and the purpose of life is just to enjoy the senses, there's a big disappointment waiting for us ahead. We can avoid that by learning from Bhagavad Gita that we are not the body, but we are the soul within. So you can say, Swamiji, we know these things. We have been hearing from our grandparents for so long. We know Krishna. We know Gita. We know we are not the body, that we are the soul. So I ask you, you come, you sit in this chair, and you tell me about your body. You can go on for at least 20 minutes, half hour. How tall you are, how much you weigh, or how much you'd like to weigh. What is the color of your hair, the color of your eyes, what freckle you have here, what pain you have there, ad infinitum. But if I say, speak about the soul, I know these things, Swami. Then you speak. Tell me about the soul, the real you. Not this temporary body which is here today and could be gone tomorrow. What is the value of the body? To some degree it's important, but what is its fate? Phalina Parichate, you judge something by the end results. This body will become ashes, it will become dust, it will become stool. The Parshis, they throw the body to the forest, it's eaten by the animals, it becomes stool. In our Vedic culture, we cremate the body, it becomes ashes. In our dear Christian brothers and sisters, they bury the body, it becomes dust. We place so much importance on the body, but what's more important, the body or the soul? According to the teachings of Gita, najayate mriyate vakadachanayam bhutva bhavita vanubhoya. For the soul, there's never birth, nor death, nor having once been, does he ever cease to be. He's unborn, undying, primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. How much do we really understand this priceless wisdom that we have at our fingertips here in the great country of India? Are we slowly losing the plot, losing the message, enamored by the false promises of happiness from Western culture? To some degree, yes. It's imperative that those who are born in this country know this science like a lawyer knows the law books and knows how to apply that wisdom. Because we are the soul within. It's the soul that gives life to this body. This body, and this is a very bold statement, this body is not living. This body is not living. It's dead matter to be manipulated by the conscious soul, that's all. Like a puppet is worked by the puppeteer. This body doesn't have life. We can look at it in an even more philosophical way. How can we understand this body doesn't have life? Because this body is made of matter, of material elements. Now, what is the nature of matter? It's lifeless. It's not conscious. You look in this room, there's the sound system, there's the lights, there's the chair, there's the floor. There's so many material objects, but they're not conscious. You're sitting on the seat. It's not saying, hey, you're too heavy, get up. The lights aren't complaining, they want a break. Matter is dead. Lifeless. What is this body made of? This body is made up of the same elements that constitute anything else in this room, anything else in this city, anything else in this country, anything else in this cosmos. It's the same elements, just arranged in a different way. So therefore, the logic applies in the same. It is not living. Many of you are, well, some of you are professors in medicine. Many of you are students studying under your professors. I met a professor the other day. I mentioned this point. He said, Swamiji, yes. I often tell my students, the body is 71 or 72% water, liquid. I said, I'm going to use that in my class. The body is 72% water. and you throw in some bones and some flesh and some this and here. And essentially, that's why my students are always encouraging me while I'm down here in South India to drink at least 2 liters of water every day. Otherwise I become dehydrated and I become sick. Now I ask you, 72% is almost 3/4. Is a bag of liquid 3/4 full, is it conscious? No. Obviously not. And neither is your body. Spiritual knowledge, when it's spoken in a very logical way, an authoritative way, makes sense. It's not wishy-washy and maybe and if and woo. And no, it's very practical. We are not these bodies. We are the Atma, we are the soul within. That soul, that Atma, comes into the body at the moment of conception. This is contradictory to all Western science. There's actually a battle going on now between atheism and theism in the Western world, and we're at the forefront because we don't speak with sentiment, we speak with authority from the Gita, from Krishna's wisdom. The soul comes into the body at the moment of conception. It is not that husband and wife are creating life. That's perhaps the last thing on their mind. They don't even know what life is. They're into the bodily concept of life. Life is just chemicals. Soul comes into the body at the moment of conception. And because of the presence of the soul, that emulsification, the sperm and the ovum, begins to grow. Not on its own. Not like science is telling, I don't know what they're saying in India these days, but in my country, America, from grade school up to university and beyond, life comes from matter. Life comes from chemicals. And they say, the scientists, it's all guesswork, but because they have a certain language and a certain composure and a certain authority, they say that life manifests in the womb at 7 months. The chemicals mix, and then that embryo becomes conscious. Therefore, before that term, I don't know what, is that the third term? The child can be aborted. Because of ignorance, so much sinful activity is going on in Western countries, and here as well. We challenge that as not scientific. Whoa, courses. And I learned that for a scientific theory to be accepted,